The United States is stepping up sanctions on Russia over its role in the Ukraine crisis. A new raft of measures just announced by U.S. President Barack Obama at the White House targets banks, energy, and defense companies. The move comes as the U.S. and the West say Russia is continuing its support of rebels in Ukraine's east and south. CCTV's Nathan King reports.
Yeah, you remember the U.S. had given Moscow a month to change what the White House has labeled support for the breakaway republics in the east and south of Ukraine. And detecting no change, the U.S. president said America will act again.
I've repeatedly made it clear that Russia must halt the flow of weapons and fighters across the border into Ukraine, that Russia must urge separatists to release their hostages and support a ceasefire, that Russia needs to pursue internationally mediated talks and agree to meaningful monitors on the border. I've made this clear directly to Mr. Putin. Many of our European partners have made this clear directly to Mr. Putin. We have emphasized our preference to resolve this issue diplomatically.
So let's break those new U.S. sanctions down. Among those targeted, two major Russian financial institutions, Gazprom Bank and VEB. Both are cut off from any medium or long-term financing by U.S. assistance, essentially shutting them out of the U.S. financial system. Two Russian energy giants, Novatek and Rosneft, and 8 Russian arms manufacturers are also hit with U.S. Treasury designations. Novatek is Russia's largest independent natural gas producer. Rosneft is Russia's largest petroleum company and third largest gas producer. Arms manufacturers who make everything from missiles to rocket-propelled grenade launchers to famous Kalashnikov rifles are also designated. The designations mean essentially they are cut off from U.S. financing and credit markets. 4 more Russian officials are targeted, as well as the governments of the 2 breakaway republics in eastern and southern Ukraine. They include the head of one of the Russian Federal Security Service, or FSB's, key units. And Russian Minister for Crimean Affairs is also targeted, and another aide to Russian President Vladimir Putin. And a shipping company based in Crimea was also targeted. The new U.S. sanctions come as the European Union met in Brussels late into the night Wednesday, Thursday, and also thinking of tougher sanctions against Russia. There was hesitance from some EU members, including powerhouse Germany, to ratchet up sanctions. But remember, German Chancellor Angela Merkel has said she's losing patience with Vladimir Putin over Ukraine as well. Now, these new U.S. embargoes, however, stop short of sanctions targeting the whole sections of the Russian economy, which had been heavily hinted at. Now, whether the U.S. is holding back on that to maintain some leverage over Moscow, or whether they were held back by their European allies, remains a question at this hour.